What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Heal the Ring podcast. I'm the host, BX Sports Jedi Kev. Today, we get news from the WWE that we have a new inductee into the Hall of Fame, and it's Muhammad Ali, but they're leaving an important person out, and we are here to discuss who should be the last one into the Hall of Fame this year, and we'll put some points here on the Heal of the Ring podcast.
Tune in to Heel of the Ring podcast on the Sports Jedi Network channel. May the sports be with you, because I am the hero the Sports Jedi deserves, but not the one it needs right now. Long live Lexus King.
Thank you, Lexus King, in the introduction video here. Welcome to the Heal the Ring podcast. So the news come out that Muhammad Ali is going to get inducted to the WWE Hall of Fame, rightfully so, especially the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania. He was a big part of the card, being the special referee on the main event. But I want to talk about a forgotten hero, a forgotten person in the history of the WWE when it comes to WrestleMania. From the very insertion of WrestleMania, even before that, and we're talking about the one and only Grammy Award-winning, Tony Award-winning, transcender, excellent female activist, Miss Cyndi Lauper. I think it's time for the WWE to recognize, acknowledge her into the Hall of Fame. 40 years is, it's been a way too long. You have from many people in that era, in that class from the first WrestleMania, pretty much inducted into the Hall of Fame. This is the picture of Muhammad Ali will be inducted. Liberace, I believe, is in the Hall of Fame. Wendi Richter is a Hall of Famer. Of course, the immortal Hulk Hogan. And, of course, you see Wendi Richter, which it all started with that great friendship between Captain Lou Albano and Cyndi Lauper. Remember, Cyndi Lauper used Captain Lou Albano as her father in that video, Girls Want to Have Fun. And then, of course, they won that famous Grammy for it. And, of course, one of the greatest moments in Madison Square Garden history when, of course, Roddy Piper, the hot one, as I'm wearing his shirt as we do this video, breaks it over Captain Lou Albano's head as he's being presented at Madison Square Garden. Out goes Cyndi Lauper back to the locker room looking for some help as Roddy Piper, the heel that he is, just breaks that over Albano's head. Out comes the immortal Hulk Hogan with Cyndi Lauper. And then you have the rock and wrestling connection with MTV. And then you set up the big spectacle that we celebrate 40 years now, with WrestleMania. I mean, that's one of the where it gave birth, with other ideas. It's to a T, but she had a lot to do with it. One of the biggest icons of pop culture in the 80s. Of course, Girls Want to Have Fun, Time After Time. So many songs from Cyndi Lauper at that time. And one of the biggest stars to cross over where now WWE is mainstream. As we record this, we saw last night. You had Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Bad Bunny, and John Cena at the Oscars. And you could say, Bad Bunny is in music, of course. Also has roots to the WWE. Who did the same? Cyndi Lauper, a trailblazer, a pioneer. I believe personally it's time to induct her in the Hall of Fame for her impact. I mean, she transcended not only in pop culture and wrestling magazines. I mean, here's Inside Wrestling with Captain Lou Albano. My God, how rock star Cyndi Lauper brought Albano and Hulk Hogan together. Her, if you have not seen this story or this is all news to you and you're from the newer generation, she is big, impactful in all of wrestling history. Of course, and now you see here the rock and wrestling connection. The rock queen Cyndi Lauper and Captain Lou Albano, big with the Hulkster. I mean, my goodness, you used to get those posters in the middle of the magazines and hang them up on your wall and stuff like that. Back in those days in the golden era of wrestling when it all started with WrestleMania. And of course, you have to think of her inducting and then her being kind of a manager on the side of the WWF Women's Champion at that time, the Hall of Fame Famer Wendi Richter when she wins the title and beat Lana at WrestleMania, and the celebration that they had, and that big icon, them running across, and she is cemented in WWE's history. And I think it's time. I think it's time, well past time. I think personally it's been overdue. I mean, listen, you have, and for no other reasons, Pete Rose is in the WWE Hall of Fame. And listen, I'm not gonna be. I'm not here to signal or say or diminish who belongs and doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame for the WWE. Because someone might say it's just a goof, or someone might say it's just a token, or whatever the case is. But Cyndi Lauper, for her contribution and what she has brought the eyeballs at that time in the 80s, and for a female, by the way, for a female rock and roller to transcend and not only brought crossover to mainstream, also bring young women to watch the WWE. Like my wife wanted to watch not just the Cyndi Lauper, but seeing the female presence, female rock star and music combining. It's just a phenomenal thing what she did. I think she belongs in the Hall of Fame. This is where we need to put a hashtag that we want Cody hashtag. We want Cyndi Lauper in the Hall of Fame. We should have that hashtag going. Personally, I think because she really deserves that honor while she's still alive. Let's not wait, God forbid, where she passes away, and then you want her, the way Muhammad Ali is going to get inducted. And yes, his family is around, and his family will and it's great remembrance. But we want to bring remembrance while they're alive, while they could hear the last, not the last, but hear the roar of the crowd. Those are these performers. That's what they live for. The hearing the roar, the applause of an audience. For Cyndi Lauper, I think we should do that here in WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, close to her home. I remember she's Brooklyn native, New York ties. Philadelphia's not far from there, where she has some friends and family at the Hall of Fame. And also, who will induct Cyndi Lauper? I mean, there's a lot of good names there. Of course, Captain Lou Albano has passed. Roddy Piper has passed. You still have from that WrestleMania 1, you have a couple Hall of Famers. Mr. T is still alive. He could be an inductee. Although there was no no interaction much with T and Lauper. You have to make Hulk Hogan. You could have Hulk Hogan, the one who could induct Cyndi Lauper into the Hall of Fame, bringing together the Rock and wrestling connection. What it had meant at that time. Two stars helping Hulk Hogan not only get on mainstream, but in that young rock and roll MTV crowd, to bring that younger or the newer, what we could say now, us, the older folks of the Hulkamaniacs that grew up with him, that followed him and supported Hulk Hogan at that time. I think that's a perfect time for have Hogan to induct Cyndi Lauper at this WrestleMania. And here's a little bit of a tidbit, a little bit of a caveat, where you could even get into the creative and to this current storyline as well, fit Hulk Hogan in, because what is Roman Reigns doing? Trying to chase Hulk Hogan's streak as modern day WrestleMania longevity as champion. Well, after somehow, where either in a backstage for digital exclusive or whatever the case is, where Hulk Hogan's in the back, Paul Heyman's going to get inducted as well. The Hall of Fame area, after the Hall of Fame area, and you can have Paul Heyman cut a promo against, towards Hogan in the back, like Roman's coming for you, and you're going to acknowledge the tribal chief, and Hogan could come out, cut a promo back with endorsing Cody, and then maybe Roman and Hogan meet face to face and says, when I abolish a record, you will acknowledge me. I mean, my God, it writes itself up with creative. You're killing a lot of birds with one stone, because you have that Hall of Fame where we're acknowledging and recognizing a pioneer in Cyndi Lauper. Then you could bring Hulk Hogan in. I know some people say whatever, it could be toxic, whatever the case, but this is for the storyline here for the WWE, and this is about Cyndi Lauper. It's not about Hulk Hogan. It's about celebrating Cyndi Lauper. But once Hogan is in the building, or once Hogan is available, you could cut that promo, because at the end of the day, there is a streak. there is a longevity of Hulk Hogan's reign as champion where Roman is getting so close to, even if Cody goes over at WrestleMania. But just think of that interaction, the oohs, the ahs, the storytelling going into that WrestleMania at the Hall of Fame night, where or digital exclusive where people could just go and download it on the YouTube platform, seeing that interaction of Hogan and Roman just crossing path at that moment where Roman is trying to make Hogan feel insecure of passing his title reign. I mean, it writes itself, and at the end of the day, we're sticking to what the main topic here is for the accolades and the flowers and the acknowledgement and the induction has to be for Cyndi Lauper. Sooner or later, let's not wait. Let's not wait when her children or her grandkids or her husband or her family members have to be the ones receiving the acknowledgement, the induction. We want to see her. We want to give her cheers. We want to relive with her what she meant in the WWE, WWF, WWE, the 40 years plus that she's been a part of. So that's my pitch here, my video. We ask you to please like, subscribe, and share. We do WWE watch-alongs. We ask you to watch along with us Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, NXT, or all the premium live events here on the Heal the Ring podcast. You can follow us on all our social platforms at Sports Jedi Network, at Twitter. You can follow me at Sports Jedi Network. Of course, we will see the Heal the Ring podcast. That is when we do the wrestling part of the show. And we thank you guys. We thank you guys for joining. Give me your thoughts. Do you think Cyndi Lauper deserves to be in the Hall of Fame this year or at all, period? And if not, and what are your arguments of why she doesn't belong in the Hall of Fame? And I would like to hear that, because maybe there's a new another generation that doesn't think of her as an iconic or impactful enough to warrant the Hall of Fame. It'd be interesting to see what you guys think. But nonetheless, we thank you again. Hit that like button. May the sports be with you. We'll talk to you again. And I want to say thank you to Alexi King for that wonderful intro video. And of course, Iron Sports Jedi Kev. See you later.